Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And Lord willing, this will be a brief exhortation dealing with, really was inspired by this, something I've been thinking about, been meditating on, which is pretty much the way in which the Lord deals with certain individuals. Now, in society, they sort of, not sort of, but they teach you or try to put the ideology out there about the negativity of favoritism, in which they do, be it parents or wherever it is, they try to make it seem as though as human beings, or it's almost as though you don't have favorites or it's not good to have favorites. But when you read the scriptures and you deal with the Heavenly Father, the Most High has favorites, right? The Most High has particular individuals that he deals with. And what I mean by that is the Lord deals with different people differently, right? When you read the different accounts of the various people written of in the scriptures and how the Lord dealt with each one of them, it wasn't all the same. The Lord didn't show the same favor, all right, that he showed to David, for example, that he did to Saul. He didn't show that same kind of mercy, right? So the point here being that the Most High, as the scriptures say, has mercy on whom he will have mercy, right? And so on and so forth. Now, here in the book of Psalms 18, all right, I wanted to highlight this point dealing with, as it is written here, right? When you go to the time of the deliverance, for example, of the nation of Israel from Egypt into the wilderness, the Lord delivered pretty much like the whole nation. Okay, even though not all of them were righteous, right? You had a lot of wicked, bad fruit amongst them, but yet the Lord delivered them all. And as the Lord, constantly, even told Moses about the wickedness and the disobedience of these people, he took them through the wilderness 40 years, save and those that got to enter the promised land were, I believe it was Joshua and Caleb, right? They were the only two from the old generation that survived. And the point being, the Lord said this time he's not going to just have mercy, blanketed mercy on everybody. Okay, this time the Lord is going to deal with you as you deal with him. Okay, so you're not just going to get a default mercy or whatever the case is. You're gonna be dealt with the same way, the same level of diligence that you show when it comes to doing the work of the Lord. Guess what? When you pray to the Lord for something, he's going to recount that. Okay, if you're somebody that doesn't take the word of the Lord seriously, you don't prioritize the Lord, why would the Lord prioritize you? If you're somebody that's unmerciful, why would the Lord have mercy on you? Okay, and that's something to always keep in mind. Now, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 24, and it reads, "Therefore hath the Lord Yahweh recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight." And that's something to always keep in mind. It's not about how others perceive you, but more so about how Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai perceives you. Because whatever the world may say about you, they're not the ones that are going to deliver you. Your salvation is not in their hands. It's in the hands of the Lord. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're doing wickedness and you're being reproved, you turn around and, only my fate is in the hands of the Lord. Well, sometimes the Lord may be speaking to you through somebody else. And if you don't take heed, then your fate indeed is in the hands of the Lord, but you're not going to like the outcome. Verse 25, "With the merciful, thou wilt shew thyself merciful." You hear that? "With an upright man, thou wilt shew thyself upright." So when you deal with integrity, right, the Lord deals with you, in a nice and faithful way. Because it's not always about, you may be in a certain situation, but it's not always about who, maybe it's an altercation or whatever the case is. It's not always about who it is that you're behaving, how you are behaving towards, but mainly it's about how you're behaving, period. There was this video that I saw of, I think it was an article, but it had a video with it. Basically, you had these two, these two Israelite women, right, Judites, or at least, two so-called black women robbed what looked like a white woman, like an Edomite, in a church as she was so-called praying for them. So I guess it was like a scam or whatever. One of them was distracting her, I guess asking. I didn't see the audio of it. I didn't hear the audio. But so as this lady is praying for her, the other one I don't know if she stole her purse or she was taking money out of it, whatever the case is. And then they went after that to some different shops and splurged and everything, right? And it's like, you may say, oh well, if she's an Edomite, then yeah, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's about just, regardless of who it is that they did this to, it's about that. It's about integrity. It's about them. It says a lot about who you are. Okay, regardless of who it is that you're doing this to, it says a lot about you, as an individual. All right, to see behavior like that, it's like, damn, you don't even want to be counted in the same batch as these degenerates. Okay, but the point that I'm making here is, it's about how you behave in certain situations that you're put in. It's not about the situation. It's not about who's in it. It's about how you react and how you handle it. And that's what, deems or shows what manner of person you are. And based on the manner of person you are, the Lord is going to deal with you accordingly. If you're a wicked individual, the Lord is going to deal with you accordingly. And if you are a faithful and righteous individual, the Lord is going to deal with you accordingly. And that's why we're reading here, right? With the merciful, thou wilt shew thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt shew thyself upright. Let me give you an example, right? Even on a carnal level, if you know somebody that's very generous, they're very kind, when you wrong them, they're like, they're understanding, they'll forgive you. They're not somebody that's like stresses you out. And they may do something that may wrong you, right? But when they do that, your first instinct wouldn't be to immediately just exact revenge or get something on them. Okay, and I'm just in the base case here, right? And why is that? Because the nature of the individual would make you, if you're somebody that's, you're not some straight demon, but it would make you consider, like, yo, damn, nah, you know what, like, nah, this person is like, I mean, they did, they might accidentally did this or whatever it is, but they messed up here. But this is somebody that's, because they're always merciful and caring and cool. You're quicker to show mercy to them because you remember how they are. You really almost feel bad for, like, coming down hard on them, because that's not how they are. That's not how they treat others, and that's not even how they treated you or how they treat you. But maybe if some situation happened and then some outcome came about, right? That is opposed to somebody that is stingy, grimy. I mean, just a straight nugger, straight up grimy. Like, he's just like, his voice alone is irritating. A dude like that, who's constantly wronging people, if they wrong you, it's gonna be a little harder to consider letting that slide, because you're like, yo, this guy's a straight demon, he always on this type of time. Like, it's like somebody that's stingy, right? Whenever you ask them for something, they're always stingy. They have it, but they won't give it to you. And then one day you have something and they ask you for something. Because of the way they are, chances are you might say no. You might say no, because I know how you are. I remember how you are. You see? So that's just like a carnal example as to how, even as human beings, how we feel, towards others based on how their character, based on how they behave. So the Lord says here, like, if you are merciful, the Lord will be most merciful with you. If you are upright, the Lord is going to deal upright with you. Okay? Verse 26, with the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. So if you have a pure heart, if you're sincere, then the Lord is gonna he's gonna sincerely help you out. Okay, verse 27, for thou wilt save the afflicted people, but will bring down high looks. Okay, which, I mean, ultimately on the higher scale, those that are afflicted are the Israelites. Okay, and those that are really on high right now are the Edomites. But the point here being, you want to make sure that you are doing the best you can to exhibit these traits, because man may not be able to, you may move in a way where man may not be able to exact judgment upon you. But don't forget that the eyes of the Lord are what you're supposed to be looking out for. You're supposed to be looking out for what the Lord sees and what the Lord thinks about you. Okay? It's like robbing a blind man and think because he can't see you, you're good. No. The person you should fear is not the blind man, but the Most High. Okay? Because the Most High always sees. He has his angels constantly looking. All right, and that's something to always keep in mind. This is why, you do the right thing, not because people are watching, or because there's going to be consequences if you don't do it, but you do the right thing because it's right. And keep in mind that there's always someone watching. The one whose opinion or whose evaluation of you is the most important and the most crucial. That's the one who's always watching, even when you're by yourself. Always keep that in mind. Okay? So, as it says, if you are an upright individual, the Lord is going to deal with you in an upright manner. The way you prioritize the Lord and the work of the Lord and the things the Lord requires of you, that's how the Lord is going to prioritize you. If you're somebody that's constantly about doing what's pleasing to the Lord, you want to service the Lord, you want to answer and be a good servant to the Lord, what do you think is going to happen when you need something and you pray to the Lord and you ask the Lord for something? He's gonna grant that to you. Okay? With urgency, because you're always there to do what the Lord requires. You're a faithful and diligent servant. So when a faithful and diligent servant needs something, I mean, why not? Okay, versus somebody that maybe they'll get it done, but maybe they'll drag their feet, they'll complain about it, they'll do all that kind of stuff. Once again, another example is if you are a manager or a CEO or somebody in a high position in a company, and those that work under you in a lower position, you have one worker that's always diligent, always doing what they got to do, doing their best to make your life easier by, doing their job correctly. And then you have another worker who's always complaining, they're always tardy, they're unappreciative, like that kind of stuff. When something comes along that'll benefit the workers in general, your chances are you're going to vouch for the one that's diligent, the one that's always doing things, doing what he has to do, doing what you ask him to do. Okay, that's willingly doing what you ask him to do. That's the one you're going to vouch for. If they need anything, right, say maybe it's PTO. The diligent worker versus the lazy worker both put in PTO. Only one can go on PTO. Who are you going to grant that PTO request to? The one that's diligent. Because he's always doing what's pleasing to you. So of course you're going to say, yeah, definitely, I'll grant it to you. The other one, he could take a back seat and he could wait. Because of how his interaction is with you. He doesn't prioritize the things you ask him to do. He doesn't make your life easier. So why should you, deal so with him? And that's really when you want to talk about fairness, right? Babylon today, Babylon has twisted really just basic standards, Like here it is. Everybody understands the concept of a winner and a loser. Everybody understands the concept of if you're running a race, there's a first place, right? And there's a last place, second place, all of that. Babylon will tell you, no. You run a race, everybody's a winner. Here it is. You got lapped 3 times in the race. Came in 30 minutes after everybody else. The race is over. People are packing up. That's when you cross the finish line. And they're going to tell you, no, you are also a first place. You get a medal. What type of shit is that? When you do that, you basically promote people to not try, you promote, people to not work hard. Why should the person who comes in last place gain the same reward as the one who came in first place? When you push a system like that, you know what happens? The guy who's coming in first place, who's working his ass off, he's gonna say, well, why should I do that? If I come in last place, I'm gonna still get the same thing. So why am I taking extra time, doing extra laps, training extra hard, eating extra right, if this person who doesn't put in any effort is gonna gain the same thing as me? And that's pretty much what they promote today. Yeah, everybody's a winner. Oh, everybody's the first. Oh, you're out of shape, but it's okay. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know what that kind of beauty leads to? Health problems. Listen, in most cases, your physical appearance is not just physical. Okay, I'm not saying in all cases. Most cases, your physical appearance is not just physical. When somebody starts to put on weight, they start to get big, and they keep getting bigger. It's gonna like fat. It's gonna come with health problems. So it's not about, oh, you look this way and telling them that they should exercise is you being negative to them. Hold on, what's gonna happen if they don't and they keep eating and they keep getting fatter? Eventually, they're gonna run into some health problems that could be lethal, that could be detrimental. So when you tell them, look, you need to exercise, get in the gym, get yourself right, you're really helping them. But here they'll tell you, no, that's hate. You got to promote body positivity. Anyway, that's pretty much it, for the lesson. The point being, always examine yourself and make sure that you're being the best version of you in the eyes of the Lord. Because how you are, especially when it comes to doing the work of the Lord, how you prioritize the Lord is how the Lord is going to prioritize you. And how you deal and behave is how the Lord is going to deal and behave towards you. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.